Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome if you're new. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get right into today's video. So for today's video, I'm going to be creating another Christmas winter nail set, and these are the nails, well, the foundation I'm going to be working on. For this set, I did want to do some long oval or almond set of nails, but I don't have any almond nail tips. So I just applied some coffin tips because that was the closest thing to it. I felt like if I did stiletto, it would have been a little bit too narrow at the end and I would have had to like cut them down a lot further. So I just applied some coffin nail tips and then cut them down to shape the almonds the best I could. This shape do look a little bit weird just because of like how long they are. You typically don't see long almond like this, but I definitely wanted to give this a try. So after I got my nail tips on shaped the best I could, I am going to go in with a layer of base coat over all of my nail tips and cure that for 30 seconds. The application for today's video is going to be very simple. I'm going to be using the 𝚙𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 new Polygel from 𝚙𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘, and I'm going to be using this really wide flat Polygel brush from 𝚙𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 honestly, I'm not sure if I will be able to link it, but just in case you guys want to check it for yourself, I will leave the brand down below. I'm just going to be going in doing a simple application using Polygel today. It's very simple, just like any other video where I explain how I apply my Polygel. As you guys just seen, I did put a line going down the entire nail, and I start to pat that out, and I am using some 91% isopropyl alcohol as my slip solution. That's what I always use, if you guys are wondering, or you just never really caught that part of the video or didn't know. I always use 91% isopropyl alcohol. It just works best for me. But once I go in and pat that Polygel down the entire nail, I then start to pat it out for the sides of the nails, and once I get it covering the entire tip, then I go in with some really delicate motions and just start to smooth everything out. It is easier using a stiffer polygel like this one. Personally, to me, I think 𝚙𝚗𝚎 has the best brand of polygel, and it kind of sucks that I don't really work with them as often anymore, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but for months now, almost a year, they have let go or like just stopped working with a lot of their ambassadors, and like now the codes don't work and stuff. So I feel like that was not really a good idea, because I think polygel is one of the best things when it comes to DIY at home nails. I'm not saying it tops acrylic, but it's definitely fun, and I just feel like a lot more people at home can work with it because it doesn't have a smell and it's easier to file. It's like softer than acrylic once it hardens, and it's not as messy, honestly. Like, you don't have to like do the liquid monomer. I just feel like it was such a bad idea to stop working with the ambassadors, but I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, so I'll let that stay over there. Yeah, I think 𝚙𝚗𝚎 has the best polygel of all the polygels I've tried and used. Of course there are some other good ones, but for the best, and I say it's the best to me because they have a stiffer polygel, and like I said, that is so much easier to work with. As you guys can see, my applications always come out really nice when I use the 𝚙𝚗𝚎 polygel, and it's just so much easier to maneuver around the nail, get it to lay flat. It doesn't like get too runny, and it like runs all over the cuticle area. It's so easy to clean up. It goes exactly where you put it. So yeah, those are my opinions on this polygel. Even though I have a lot of them, I don't really use them as often, but yeah, this is really one of my favorites to use from them, which is, again, this is the nude called 𝚙𝚚𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 After I cure on the first layer of polygel, as you see, I do go back in with a smaller bead and just kind of work that in the middle and up towards the cuticle area to add some structure in that part, and also just to fill in that dip in the center. And then after I get that one cured, I move on to the next nail. I'm going to be applying this new polygel to only 3 of my nails, which are the index, middle, and pinky. And then for my ring and thumb, I'm going to be using another glitter from 𝚙𝚗𝚎. After curing on the new polygels, I'm going to be using this one here called Top Notch, and this is a really pretty low-key glitter. I feel like it matches with the nude, but it also have like little blue hints and greens and like almost like a goldish tint to it. So I wanted to use this nail set. Wasn't really planned, like I wasn't gonna use this at all, but I was like, I have to get an accent nail, and I felt like this was the perfect thing to do because I am gonna be encapsulating more like snowflakes and glitter into it and just making it look very icy like. So I can't wait for you guys to see how this like really comes about like along the way in the process of it. As you can see here, I did end up taking a lot more of that polygel off because for this, at the moment, like when I first started using this, it was just gonna be a regular like glitter nail. I wasn't going to encapsulate any snowflakes, but in the moment, like I think that's where I realized I was like, maybe I should do some snowflakes, and like I was thinking about it in my head. So and the reason I didn't keep all of that polygel is because I wanted to have room for me to encapsulate it, and if I went in with all of that glitter, it would have just been too much, and I didn't want the nail to be bulky because I still have to add the clear and encapsulate, and also I have to add enough clear so that the snowflakes I encapsulate isn't poking out the sides. So yeah, I did just end up taking a little bit more off and just do a really thin layer of that glitter base, and I didn't cure it just yet. I'm then placing the snowflakes into my nails. Since these nails aren't really shaped to have a lot of things encapsulated, I'm just going to be adding 2 of them, and one of the snowflakes I did cut in half to put like at the top and at the bottom just to kind of even everything out. And with this nail, before I cure it, I did end up taking a little bit of this glitter here, which is like rainbow kind of bluish mylar flakes. I wanted to add like that wintry like icy look back into it because I didn't want the goldish glitter, like the base of the polygel, to take over. So I just added a little bit of that, and I went ahead and put it underneath the light. And as I'm curing it, I did hold down the sides of the snowflakes just to make sure everything was cured down and it wasn't sticking up. And that's basically the base of that nail, and I'm gonna cure it and repeat that same process on my thumb. After those 2 nails are cured, I'm going to take the Makartt clear polygel and encapsulate them. I think I'm only going to show 1 nail for the encapsulation. It did take a little bit longer because these nails are shaped a little bit weird, I'm not going to lie, but I wanted to make sure that the nails were better. Like I wanted to make sure I was doing a good job at actually applying the polygel and not just like slap it up there and cure it and then file it to perfection. So I just took my time. Even though this is sped up, I was really taking my time and like pressing out the polygel, making sure all the sides are even, making sure to get the top smooth, making sure there's no indents or like unusual dips. And I think even that, since this nail shape is looking so weird right now, I think once I finished, it was still kind of like wonky, but honestly I did the best I could, so I wasn't really stressing it. And then I went in with the filing part. Like I said, filing polygel is so much easier, so that's why I don't really mind filing polygel. It's just such an easy process. So yeah, like I said, I only showed one nail of me encapsulating, and this is what the nails look like. I didn't encapsulate my nude nails because those are good as they are. Yeah, this is what the base was looking like. I also went ahead and took a lint-free wipe and some alcohol and just removed that tacky layer from the surface. And now I'm going to go in with the filing. I may take out some of the filing. I think it's gonna take like 5 or 6 minutes for the filing part. I usually don't keep that much in, but for this one I felt like it was such an easy thing to watch, and so I'm just gonna keep it in. I don't know, maybe once I'm finished I might take it out. So if it's shorter than 5-6 minutes, then just know I did take it out, but if not, then I just end up leaving everything in. So if you do end up watching it through, I want to say thank you so much. But if you do want to skip the filing, I will leave a timestamp on the screen so you can go ahead and skip to that part where I start my nail art. But yeah, I'm just gonna be taking a nail file, shaping those nails, trying my best to not make them look too stiletto, or try not to like make the almond or oval shape too flat either. Like this was definitely weird, so I just really took my time with this as well. But I do shape it first, and then I go on top of the surface, just making sure everything is smooth. Sometimes I do use the nail file to file around the cuticle area, and then after I finish using the hand file, you will see me go back in with my nail drill, just using a sanding band. I didn't need anything more coarse than a sanding band actually, because like I said, the polygel is a little bit softer, so you don't need one of those like really large carbine coarse bits, because you will end up filing a lot, and if you file too much you can't go back. So I just like to use a sanding band and just file as needed. And there I did finish off with some buffing, and I'm just wiping my nails down now, removing all of that dust using a lint-free wipe and some alcohol. And then after this we can finally get into the nail art. So after I finish wiping my nails down, this is what the nails are looking like. Again, to me the shape do still look a little bit weird, but it was just so cute. I feel like it gives me like, it reminds me of like coquette, which is also another reason why my nail set like turned out to be what it was, because I wanted to kind of follow into that. However, I do want to say that this nail set or this nail design was inspired by a set I seen on Pinterest. I didn't copy it like or recreate it from nail, but I did get like at least 2 nails. I think if I can find the picture again, I will leave it up on the screen. But I did take the bow nail I'm going to be doing and the French tips, which is the nail I'm starting off here. So as you guys saw, I did add 2 gel polishes to my nail palette. I had a sky blue and a pastel blue, but the pastel blue was too light and the sky blue was not necessarily too dark, but I just didn't want it to be that blue. So what I end up doing is just mixing those 2 together and just going in with the French tips on my pinky. After I fill that in, I do wipe the sides and cure it for 30 seconds. And then I'm going to go back in with the second layer just to make it a little bit more opaque and even. And that's what that nail is looking like. Of course, I cured it for 30 seconds, and now I'm going to be repeating that same process over to my index nail, adding on my first layer, curing for 30 seconds, and then going in with another, and then curing for another 30 seconds. So like I was saying, this nail set was like, it was kind of coming to me as I was going, which is why I think it turned out so good. But for this part, I am going to be doing these sweater nail designs on the blue French tip, and I wasn't really thinking, so now I'm just adding on the matte top coat. I'm not going to be adding it to the entire nail, I'm just going to be adding it on the blue French, and then once I finish, I'm going to cure that. And then taking that same blue gel polish, I'm going to be adding the little lines to start my sweater nail design. I just think this design looks so cozy, and it just makes me want to curl up with a book, blanket, and some hot chocolate, or like watch a Christmas movie. Like, it just, I don't know, I just love the way it looks. I love anything cozy and girly, like coquette vibes. So I'm just doing that. Once I get the lines in the center, and I do 2 long lines on the side of that, on the side of those lines I do like these little dashes going in the same direction. And then once I finish, I'm not going to cure it just yet. I am going to take some clear acrylic powder and just sprinkle that on, and that's what's going to give it that sweater texture. After it's cured, I'm going to take a brush and just remove the excess acrylic powder, and then repeat that same process on my index nail. Also, just randomly, I do want to say thank you if you guys are still here watching. You guys have no idea how much it means to me to see your guys' comments and seeing the views on my videos, because you guys do not have to watch them at all. So from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you guys so much. And if you have been enjoying today's video so far, you can leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, or just leave a simple comment down below. Like I always say, anything you do to interact with my channel helps me out a lot, and I am beyond grateful. After my sweater nails are done, I'm gonna take some top coat, and again, I wasn't really thinking about this part. I kind of just skipped over it, so now it's like I'm backtracking, but it wasn't that hard to do. I'm just adding some glossy top coat to the nude part of my French tip nails. So I'm just adding that on in reverse, just to make sure like nothing kind of settles in between like the blue part. And I'm also going to be adding the top coat to my glitter encapsulated snowflake nails while I have it out. I'm just going to cure that, and then we'll start working on these. So for this nail, I'm going to be creating the little icy, like icicle nail designs. So to start this off, on top of that glossy top coat, I'm going to use some white gel polish and a liner brush. And the first thing I am going to do is create a little border around the nails. I'm going to make it a little bit thick. I don't want it too thin. I think if it is too thin, it's going to look weird. So I just make it a little bit thick, and then once I'm satisfied with how that looks, I'm going to take the gel polish from that border and just pull it down and like create little spikes. This has never been an easy design for me, but I think the more I do it, it just starts to look right. Like, I don't know how to really explain it, but I just feel like when I see other people do this nail design, it's just so much cleaner. The spiky lines are just so perfectly imperfect. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I think once I added on my sprinkle on glitter, it just made it pop more, so you didn't really have to like worry about if the lines were as neat and stuff. So just like my sweater nails with the clear acrylic on the gel polish, I just went ahead and added on some sprinkle on glitter, and I think this one is from Kara Sky. I think it's called Of Quartz. I'm not really sure, but I'll link it down below for you guys, or have it up on the screen for you to check out. So after I got the frosted icicles cured on, for this part I actually really wanted to show you guys how this came, or like the process of this. So basically I am going to be doing some 3D nail art. I'm going to add a 3D bow onto my nails, but for this part I do have blue sculpting gel, and originally it was clear. It was just a clear sculpting gel from, I think, either BT Art Box or a brand I got from Amazon. But I seen this video or a tutorial on Instagram of this girl. She was creating it, and instead of adding it on clear, she actually mixed it into the color. It's not the first time I've seen that happen, because I have seen people do it before, but I think her video, it just kind of made me want it to do it more, or like try it more. So that's what I did. I did take a ball of that clear sculpting gel and I mixed it with the gel polish I had on my nail palette, and just doing that I was like, yeah, this is not coming out right. But you have to add some clear acrylic to it so it's not as sticky, and the only way I can really explain it is like it keeps it from being sticky, as if you were like rolling out some dough and like baking something. You know how you have to like sprinkle the extra flour and like add flour as you go so it's not as sticky? That's what the acrylic is acting as. Like, it just keeps it from being sticky. So I just added some until the consistency was good enough for me, and that's basically how this came about. And then once I finished, it had the color in it and I was satisfied with it, so I just molded everything out and rolled everything out, and then started to sculpt the bow onto my nails using a dotting tool and a brush dipped in some alcohol, and also occasionally using like a cuticle pusher just to kind of like press it where I need it to be and like cut off some stuff or like the edges. Yeah, I did cure on the first part of this bow first because I didn't want to like hit it or mess it up on anything. So once I got the loops cured, I then went to add the strings or like the falling part of the bow and just continue to sculpt that how I want it. Also, I do want to say I like this way a lot better because it's so much better. I feel like it's so much neater, and when you are adding it on without the color and it's just clear, you can't really like tell because it's clear. Like sometimes there's spots where it's like little dips and it's like it's not as even, and you don't really see it until you try to like cover over it with the gel polish. And sometimes I also feel like the gel polish makes it not look as neat either, because sometimes it runs and there's like too much in one area. It's just a lot. So this way it's a lot easier. The color is already added to it before you even start to mold it on the nail. So I'm glad I did it this way. I think if I did it the other way, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much. But once I finished molding out that bow, I did add some dots, and that's where I think more of the coquette vibes came to me, because I just feel like the polka dots was just so adorable. So I just added them surrounding the bow on the bottom, at the top. Then once I got that cured, I'm gonna go in with the top coat, just making sure to seal this design in. Just to add a little bit more of those coquette vibes to it, I'm going to be adding 3 pearls to my nails. The first one is going to be in the center of the bow, like where the loops are, and then the other 2 are going to be right in the center of my smile line for the French tip nails. I'm going to apply 2 little dots to add those because I don't need a lot of like rhinestone glue, so I just added a little bit of top coat and just placed them and got those cured on. And that's the last thing I have to do for this set. We are done with it. So now I'm just adding all my cuticle oil, and once I rub that in to renourish my cuticles, this is what the finished set looks like, and I love this set so much. My favorite nail is definitely the bow because I just think it turned out so good. It's so neat, and I think doing that new technique where I add the sculpting gel into the gel polish and add that acrylic to it, it just made it so much better, a lot easier to control. Overall, I feel like it looks so much more professional, to be honest. Like, I just love everything about it. I love that I was able to capture like the icy, the blue, like winter feel to it. Like, I just felt like this overall design came together a lot, and it was so easy to do. Like, really the only thing I did was apply the polygel, do French tips, sprinkle on some acrylic and glitter, and we're done. So very beginner friendly. I love everything about it. I'll leave the products down below for you guys to check out, or I'll just add them in like as text so you know where to find them or show them. Yeah, I really did enjoy doing this set. It felt very refreshing to do a polygel set. I don't really do them as often now because I'm always trying out new acrylics, but I really love how the set turned out. Shout out to the inspo picture I got from Pinterest. Like I said, this was inspired by someone else, but it wasn't entirely a recreation set. So yeah, I think this nail set was very cute, so adorable, and everything I wanted it to be. So that concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about today's set, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.